What's up, chat? What's up, everybody? So today I just wanted to talk about something pretty interesting. So I just wanted to talk about my opinion, the biggest weakness of Anime Vanguards. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because there's really nothing left to cover in Anime Vanguards anymore. I've been doing my Alucard series for the past couple of days now, and also been covering Update 1. But now I wanted to cover something that's been a huge complaint in the community, which is actually the topic of the devs not communicating enough. So I wanted to talk about this because I've seen a lot of people, especially in Discord, complain about this. So I wanted to talk about this and why I think it's the biggest weakness of Anime Vanguards. So if you like this video, then don't forget to like and subscribe. We're gonna cover lots of stuff like this, and also we have our mini series or our series, which is our farming to Alucard. And on top of that, there's gonna be more coming soon. So yeah, subscribe. And also at 35,000 subscribers, we're gonna be doing a ton of giveaways, Game Pass giveaways. So subscribe to also be part of that. So now let's get this video started. To get it started, I just wanted to go over a bunch of stuff and also the sub-announcement, and also give you guys some context on why I wanted to talk about this. So for context, the last update of Anime Vanguards was actually several weeks ago. I think at this point, it's been more than 2 weeks since the last update of Anime Vanguards, which was update 0.5. And update 0.5 was a pretty small update. I think most people will consider update 0.5 a very small update. Yes, it did add raids, and also it did add the new boss event. But on top of that, there's really nothing much. I think for most people, it was a very decent update, but it wasn't a big update, right? So it's been 2 weeks since that. And up till now, there still hasn't been that many leaks nor information about the update. So this is pretty much where most people have started raising their concerns on Anime Vanguards and the developers and owners of the game as a whole, on they are not communicating enough with their audience, because it's been 2 weeks or more than 2 weeks and there still hasn't been any news on the update. So that's pretty much the context of this video, and we're gonna dive into it now. So first of all, I'd like to start and clear they don't communicate well enough. So I think they actually do communicate, but the problem is they're not really communicating the things that we want them to communicate. So here, for example, after receiving a ton of complaints about, Anime Vanguards not updating enough, blah blah blah, and not giving enough information about the updates, they finally decided to release their own statement. So they are communicating, just not in the way that we expect them to be communicating. So most people expect the owners and developers to be communicating about the update, but they communicate mostly about other stuff. So right here, they actually address the issue on why they haven't been giving the release dates. So the number one issue, or the number one thing that they've mentioned right here, is because last month or a few months ago, they actually did give out release date for the game itself. So they gave May, June, and then July, but they were never able to release those release dates, and because of that, a lot of people got mad. And because they experienced so many people getting mad at them for delaying and whatnot, they decided to now not give any release dates, so most people aren't gonna be complaining. So that's pretty much one of the reasons why they're never giving any information about the release date unless it's super close to the update. So right here, they did mention, which usually means we'll only give updates when we're close to completion. And since update 1 hasn't been given any information yet, it's safe to assume that it's probably not close to being finished yet. We still have a few more days. I think we still have 2-3 days before it officially becomes 3 weeks since the last update. And if they don't give any information till then that will officially mean that the update is still not yet close to being done. And then, other than that, there's also a bunch of issues that a lot of people have been talking about, which is number one, sneak peeks. Why don't you sneak your future updates at least while we wait? So their number one issue right here is AnimeDefenders actually didn't give that many sneak peeks, which I think is true. They actually didn't give that many sneak peeks for their updates. But let's be honest here, just because AnimeDefenders was a great game, it doesn't mean that AnimeDefenders did everything correctly. Just because AnimeDefenders is a great and was probably one of the biggest games, not really the biggest, because Anime Vanguards is bigger than AnimeDefenders. AnimeDefenders is just like the OG, right? Just because it's the OG tower defense game doesn't mean it did everything right. So you can't really base your decision based on how AnimeDefenders did it. You can't really be basing your decisions based on how AnimeDefenders did it, because I think if you're going to use that logic, then you're going to be doing the bad stuff that AnimeDefenders did as well, right? Which I think is very negative for your game as a whole. So it's better to do things right and learn from the mistake of AnimeDefenders and do things right, right? So that's the first point that they gave. They're basically trying to do it the same way AnimeDefenders did, which I think is kind of a decent point, but not really a strong point. Their second point of other games stealing their gameplay ideas is actually kind of good as well, because there's other games, like for example, the AnimeDefender situation where they said AnimeDefenders copied their gameplay ideas. The truth is, once this update releases, the other games are gonna be copying them anyways. So instead of avoiding getting copied and screwing your fans over by not giving anything, why not just give us, the sneak peeks? Because at least by giving us the sneak peeks, even though there's a chance that it could get copied, at least you would have pleased your fans, right? And then the third point is, in my opinion, the weakest point that they've made. If we do post sneaks and updates, people will move the goalposts further and argue about how we don't update fast enough, how we don't sneak enough. It's an uphill battle that we'd rather just not engage with in the first place. So this, in my opinion, is the weakest point that they've made. Because what they're saying right here is that since people are gonna hate anyways, we're just gonna keep quiet. Because people are gonna hate anyways, so we're not just gonna try at all. That's essentially what they're saying right here. Since people will move the goalposts further and argue about how we don't update fast enough, how we don't sneak enough, it's an uphill battle that we'd rather just not engage with in the first place. So I think this is a very weak point that they've made. Since yes, even though for example, give information about the release date. Let's say, for example, the release date is gonna be 3 weeks from now. There's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna get mad, but there's also gonna be a lot of people that will appreciate your honesty, right? Most people will rather that you be honest about what's going on with the game than just being quiet. I think honesty and trust is very important to be built between the owners of the game and the people that play the game in order for the game to have a very long lifespan. Anime Vanguards is, in my opinion, right now the best tower defense game, probably the best tower defense game ever in Roblox. But these decisions right here that they have with not communicating with the audience, in my opinion, is just very weak. Because even though people will hate on you if be honest, and there's always gonna be haters, completely avoiding all communication just because of the small amount of people that are gonna hate is very weak, in my opinion. Like, it's not really a good thing to decide your decisions of not communicating with your audience and your fans and player base based on the small amount of kids that are always gonna be complaining anyways. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. Anime Vanguards, again, the current best game in Roblox in terms of tower defense, but this decision, as I have mentioned, is quite weak in my opinion. I think for the game to be even better, they should start communicating their updates more. Like, they don't even have to give sneak peeks. I think something that they could do that could help the game a lot is just give us updates on how close the update is to completion. Like, maybe they could have a sub-announcement saying, oh, the update is 30% finished, or oh, the update is 70% finished, or oh, the update is 80% finished, or we're not able to work on the update right now because this is currently what's happening, or this is what's happening. Yeah, again, there's gonna be people that hates, but again, the honesty and trust will be built if you are communicating with your audience. I think if you just communicate and you're honest with this update schedules, there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna rally behind you instead of just refusing to engage with it in the first place. So yeah, I think this is currently Anime Vanguard's biggest issue, and let's see how they're gonna handle it moving forward. That's gonna be it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.